Hello everyone, Neo here, and on today's episode, we're going to be doing a full and complete debunk of the gender wage gap. As you probably know, because you are listening to this podcast, the gender wage gap is one of the most persistent feminist myths that will probably never die. Before I start this, let me be very clear. The gender wage gap statistic is not false in and of itself. It simply takes all the earnings of men and divides it by all the earnings of women. So you're probably wondering, doesn't that mean the wage gap is true? Well, not really. How much women and men earn is actually irrelevant. The important thing is, how much they earn for the same job. And as it turns out, women tend to actually earn more. Like pretty much everything in the world, the reason is political. People in government have found out that a very easy way to earn women's votes is to promise them that they'll fix this imaginary gender wage gap. Because of this, companies are put under huge political pressure to hire women. And in STEM, for example, women are 2 to 1 more likely to be hired than men with the exact same qualifications. If for some reason you still don't believe me, just think about it this way. If you could truly get more bang for your buck by hiring women, and could pay them less per hour, then surely you would never hire a man again. It's not as if you would only be making a little bit more money. As feminists say, the wage gap stands at 21%. You would be cutting your costs by over 1/5. You would quickly shut down all companies who are competing against you and become a monopoly in the field. Now, let's think. Why hasn't that happened? Also, just on a side note, feminists tend to be leftists, so it kind of goes against that whole Bernie Sanders capitalism is evil and will maximize profits thing, doesn't it? No, the wage gap doesn't have to do with sexism or even anything remotely like that. The wage gap has to do with the fact that women tend to be mothers more than men, and as a result have to take time off from work, take part-time work, and trade in risky positions for safer ones. As if that weren't enough, it's not only motherhood that drives the wage gap. Women tend not to take higher paid jobs like being a doctor and engineering, and tend to take lower paid jobs like veterinarian and lower education. It's not as if women mind making these sacrifices either. Women, like pretty much everyone in the world, would rather be in a low-paying job that they enjoy than a high-paying job that they hate. And anyway, it's human instinct to aspire to become a mother. Leftist trigger words like misogyny really have nothing to do with anything. Anyway guys, that's all I wanted to say for this episode. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe, and if you really liked it, make sure to go to bit.ly/neoconnation to help us make more episodes like this in the future. Regardless, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned, you're on your own time.